Hi friends, I'm Ruel and today we're looking at Sagrada. I want to thank Floodgate Games for sending over a copy. Now, this is a new version of the classic dice drafting and dice placement game. I've got both versions lined up here. I want to show the differences because there are three things that I love about this and one thing that I didn't really like about this game. So let's look at it. First of all, the first thing I really love about this is the new artwork. I'm a big fan of Kwanchai Moria, and he's redone everything. This is the round tracker, and you flip it over, and there's your point tracker for the end of the game. As you can see, it's bigger than the original one that came out back in 2017. Your mileage may vary as far as which art you prefer, but I do prefer Kwanchai Moria's. Likewise, he's redone the board. The board is slightly smaller than the previous version, but the dice are the same. It's just the board itself. Again, art by Kwanchai Moria, I'm a big fan, so I'm going to love that. So I love the art. Another thing that I love, and I should have led with this, are the dice. The dice are now, for my eyes, colorblind friendly. And that was a huge problem I had with the old version. As you can see here, the purple and blue look very similar to my eyes. And in certain, under certain lights, the red and green look similar. So I always had a problem with that. And I swapped out the dice back in the day. I brought a set of different purple dice that I could use in here. They fit. Now, the new version is great. They use the different shades or whatever. Maybe it's also purple, blue, yellow, red, and green. But you'll notice, I don't know if you can see it here, but there are like almost like little highlights or sparkles in the dice that you can tell what are different. For instance, this red, and they do it on the player board too, which is so smart. So the red and the purple and blue. So you'll notice here, yellow is just a solid yellow. Purple is a solid purple, and so is the green, which is somewhere. I don't think I have a green here, but if you notice on the blue and the red, there's like these little sparkles here. Just a really subtle touch, but now I know if I'm having trouble with the dice color, I know that this is a red. I need to place a red here. Okay, they didn't do that in the original version, so like this green here. I always had trouble with the green and the reds under certain lighting conditions. So these are just solid colors. I would have to ask fellow players like, "Oh, where does this go?" And they'd tell me. But now with the colorblind friendliness, just a little icons always help, friends. So this now I can play all by myself. The third thing I love about this are the tarot card size cards. So for the public objectives, they've gone to the bigger size. So this is easier to see on the table when you're looking, across the table trying to see public objectives. Likewise, the tools are bigger as well. So easier to see on the table when you have vision issues or whatever. Your private goals are still the same size, but I just like, again, it's just cleaned up a little bit more, a little more clear. And, they keep it the smaller size just because it's a private objective. Now, those are three things I love about this game. The artwork, the colorblind-friendly dice, the bigger size cards. Also, there are rules clarifications. So they've, clarified some of those rules that may be misinterpreted from the original. One thing I did not like about this game, it's sad because I'm a solo game player. They slightly tweaked the solo rules. And I've found it near impossible to beat. And I'm going to be honest with y'all, I have not beat the solo game yet. What they tweaked was this right here, the private objectives. So now, in the original solo game, you would get points based on the pips that you place. So in this case, I had to place the yellow dice, or any yellow dice I place. In the original version, whatever the pip was, say I put a 6 yellow on my board, I'd get 6 points. Now it's just a straight up 3 points per yellow that's in the solo game. Now I understand that folks had a problem with this in the multiplayer game. People just put in a bunch of their colors on their board and making sure they're high numbers. Now they've sort of nerfed that, and so it's just 3 points, and which is fine, but in the solo game it really hamstrings you, I think. Also in a solo game you have objectives. Now it's cool because you have 3 objectives like in the standard game, but now you only score one of them. In the previous rules, you had 2 public objectives and you scored both of them. So I found it it was still a challenge. I didn't always beat the solo game, but at least I had a chance. I feel like this is sort of tough. I don't know what to make of it, but that's one thing I did not like about it is the new solo rules, and which is fine because what I'm going to do is I'm going back to the original solo rules to play the wonderful new version, colorblind-friendlier version of Sagrada. Shout out to you for watching. I appreciate it. Be sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons, and thanks to Floodgate Games for the copy of Sagrada. Bye, friends.